Admiral Jihan walked slowly through the long metal hallway. His boots made soft sounds on the floor. Today was the most important day in human history. After 3 years of talks, the Galactic Consortium would finally give their answer. Would they let humans join the galaxy or not? The meeting room was huge. It was bigger than any building Jihan had ever seen. Strange lights floated in the air. They showed the faces of alien beings from faraway worlds. Some had too many eyes. Others had skin like rocks. A few looked like giant insects. All of them stared down at the small group of humans standing in the middle. Dr. Yuna stood next to Jihan. She was Earth's best scientist who studied alien life. Her hands shook a little, but her face stayed calm. Behind them stood 5 other humans. They came from different countries on Earth. All of them hoped for the same thing. The lead alien spoke first. Its body looked like it was made of blue crystal. When it talked, its voice sounded like breaking glass. We have watched your species for many years. We have studied your history. We have seen your wars. We have seen your violence. Jihan felt his heart beat faster. This did not sound good. Every species that joins our consortium must prove they can live in peace, the crystal being continued. They must show they will not harm others. They must follow our rules. Your species has failed this test. Dr. Yuna stepped forward. But we have changed. We stopped fighting big wars. We work together now. We built space stations together. We explore space as one people, not separate countries. Another alien spoke. This one looked like a giant bird with silver feathers. You say you have changed, but your actions show the truth. You still fight small wars. You still hurt your own planet. You make weapons instead of medicine. You take more than you give back. We are learning, Jihan said. His voice was strong but respectful. Every species makes mistakes. We want to do better. We want to learn from you. A third alien joined the conversation. It had green skin and 6 arms. The problem is not just your wars. The problem is how you think. You are too curious. You ask too many questions. You try to change things that should not be changed. You never accept limits. The crystal alien nodded. In our long history we have seen 17 species like yours. They all had the same hunger to explore. They all wanted to push beyond safe boundaries. They all wanted to take risks. Do you know what happened to them? The humans waited in silence. They all died, the crystal being said. Some destroyed themselves with their own weapons. Others found dangers in space that killed them. A few were destroyed by older, stronger species who got tired of their interference. Your curiosity is not a gift. It is a curse. Dr. Yuna's face turned red with anger. You're wrong. Our curiosity helps us solve problems. It helps us find new medicines. It helps us understand the universe. Without curiosity we would still be living in caves. And because of curiosity you will die in space, the bird-like alien replied. We will not let you spread this dangerous thinking to other worlds. We will not let you influence young species who might copy your mistakes. The green alien raised all 6 of its arms. The Galactic Consortium has made its decision. Humanity is rejected. You will not join our organization. You will not be allowed to leave your solar system. Any human ship that tries to go beyond your sun's influence will be destroyed. Jihan felt like he had been hit in the stomach. You cannot do this. You cannot trap us in our own home. We can and we will, the crystal being said. We are placing a quarantine field around your entire solar system. This field will detect any ship trying to leave. Our defense ships will stop it before it gets far. This is not punishment. This is protection. We are protecting the galaxy from you, and we are protecting you from yourselves. Dr. Yuna's voice was quiet but fierce. What if we refuse? What if we do not accept your cage? The aliens looked at each other. Some made strange sounds that might have been laughter. Then you will die trying to break free, the crystal alien said. We have technology you cannot imagine. We have weapons that can destroy planets. We have lived in space for millions of years while you have barely left your own world. You cannot fight us. You cannot outsmart us. You can only accept what we decide. The floating lights began to fade. The alien faces started to disappear. The meeting was over. Wait, Jihan called out. There must be another way. Give us a chance to prove we can change. But the room was already empty. The aliens were gone. The humans stood alone in the huge, quiet space. Dr. Yuna looked at Jihan. They think walls can stop humans, she said softly. They do not know us very well. Outside, invisible energy fields began to form around Earth's solar system. The cage was being built. But inside that cage, 7 billion humans were already starting to think of ways to break free. The galaxy had said no. Humanity was preparing to say yes. 6 months passed since the aliens locked Earth inside their invisible cage. The world had changed completely. Countries that used to fight each other now worked together. Scientists from every nation shared their knowledge freely. Engineers worked day and night on the same goal. Everyone wanted the same thing, to break free from the alien prison. Dr. Minji sat in her underground laboratory beneath Seoul. The room was full of strange machines and glowing screens. She had not slept well in weeks. Dark circles showed under her eyes, but her mind was sharp and focused. In front of her was humanity's greatest hope, a new type of engine that might fool the alien guards. The quantum readings look stable, she said to her team. Around her stood scientists from 12 different countries. They spoke different languages, but they all understood the numbers on the screens. Engineer Hanol wiped sweat from his forehead. He had been working on the navigation system for 18 hours straight. The aliens use hyperspace lanes like roads in the sky, he explained to the group. Every ship in the galaxy travels on these roads. The aliens watch these roads very carefully. But what if we do not use roads at all? Dr. Minji smiled for the first time in days. What if we dig tunnels instead? Above ground, Admiral Jihan walked through the halls of the United Earth Command Center. This building did not exist 7 months ago. Now it was the heart of humanity's fight for freedom. Representatives from every country met here every day. They shared resources, ideas, and hope. How is Project Breakthrough coming along? Jihan asked General Kaiwan, who was reading reports from research teams around the world. Better than we hoped, Kaiwan replied. The Russians gave us their best nuclear scientists. The Americans shared their quantum computer designs. The Chinese are building the ship hulls. The Europeans designed the life support systems. Even small countries are helping. Madagascar sent us rare minerals. Iceland is providing clean energy for the computers. Jihan nodded. The aliens made one big mistake. They thought fear would make us give up. Instead, fear made us unite. Down in the Seoul laboratory, Dr. Minji was explaining her discovery to a video screen full of world leaders. Normal space travel goes through hyperspace, she said. Think of hyperspace like the top floor of a building. All the aliens live and travel on the top floor. But there are other floors below. We found a way to travel through subspace, the basement floor. The president of Brazil raised her hand. But is it safe? What if ships get lost in this basement? Hanol stepped forward. We built special computers that can map subspace. It is dangerous, yes. But staying trapped here forever is also dangerous. We will lose our spirit. We will stop dreaming of the stars. Dr. Minji touched a button. A hologram appeared showing Earth's solar system. Red lines showed the alien quarantine field surrounding everything. The alien sensors cannot see into subspace. To them, our ships will just disappear. By the time they notice we are gone, we will already be far away. Commander Soyoung entered the room. She was Earth's best pilot and the person chosen to test the first breakthrough ship. When do we try it? She asked. Soon, Dr. Minji replied. But we need to be smart about where we go first. The aliens will be very angry when they discover what we did. We need to find friends before they find us. Admiral Jihan's voice came through the speakers from the command center above. Our spy satellites have been watching alien communication signals. We found something interesting. There are worlds the aliens have given up on. Dying planets they think are not worth saving. If we help these forgotten people, maybe they will help us. Commander Soyoung studied the star maps on the wall. The Kythera system. Their sun is dying. The aliens marked it as a dead zone 3 years ago. No one goes there anymore. Perfect, Dr. Minji said. If we can save a dying world, we show the galaxy what humans really are. Not destroyers but builders. Not conquerors but helpers. The next few weeks were busy beyond belief. Factories around the world worked without stopping. The first human breakthrough ship grew in a secret facility hidden under the Australian desert. It looked different from any ship humans had built before. Its hull was smooth and dark. Strange coils wrapped around its middle section. Most importantly, it had the new phasing drive that could slip between dimensions. On the day of the first test, people around the world watched their screens. Commander Soyoung sat in the pilot's seat, her hands steady on the controls. This is Earth Ship 1, she said into her radio. Beginning phase transition. The ship began to glow with soft blue light. Slowly it became harder to see. Then, in a flash of silver light, it vanished completely. The alien sensors detected nothing. Their quarantine field registered no breach. But humanity had just taken its first step toward freedom. In the Seoul laboratory, Dr. Minji smiled as she watched the empty space where the ship had been. The galaxy said no, she whispered. Now let us show them what yes looks like. Commander Soyoung felt her stomach twist as the ship moved through subspace. The walls around her seemed to bend and stretch in impossible ways. Colors that had no names flashed outside the windows. This was a place no human had ever been before. Phase transition complete, she said into her radio. Her voice was calm, but her heart was beating fast. Earth Ship 1 has successfully left the solar system. Back on Earth, the control room exploded with cheers. Dr. Minji wiped tears from her eyes. Admiral Jihan pumped his fist in the air. They had done it. They had broken free from the alien cage. But Soyoung's mission was just beginning. She looked at her navigation screen and set course for the Kythera system. The journey would take 2 days through subspace. 2 days to reach a world the galaxy had forgotten. When she arrived, what she saw broke her heart. The Kythera sun was dying. It used to be bright yellow like Earth's sun, but now it glowed weak and red. The planet below was mostly dark. Only small patches of light showed where people still lived underground. Soyoung moved her ship into orbit and began scanning. Her computers found life signs, but not many. Maybe a few million people were left on a world that once held billions. She could see the ruins of great cities on the dark surface. This was a civilization that had reached for the stars but was now dying alone. She opened a communication channel and spoke in the Kythera language. Human computers had learned it from old alien broadcasts. This is Commander Soyoung from the planet Earth. We are here to help you. For a long moment there was only silence. Then a weak voice replied. Earth? We do not know this world. Are you from the consortium? Have you come to watch us die? No, Soyoung said gently. We are not from the consortium. We are new to the galaxy. We heard your people needed help, so we came. Another long pause. Help? The consortium said we could not be saved. They said our son's death was natural and should not be stopped. They left us here 3 years ago. Soyoung felt anger rise in her chest. The aliens had the technology to help but chose not to. Well, we are not the consortium. Can we come down and meet you? Hours later, Soyoung stood in an underground city deep beneath the Kythera surface. The people around her were tall and thin with gray skin and large black eyes. They moved slowly like people who had lost hope. Their city was beautiful but felt empty. Too many houses had no lights in the windows. Elder Vox, the leader of the survivors, showed her around. Once we had great farms on the surface, he said sadly. We grew food that fed the whole sector. We made art that inspired other worlds. Now we grow mushrooms in caves and wait for the end. What if the end does not have to come? Soyoung asked. Dr. Miho beamed down from the ship with medical supplies and a small team of scientists. He was Earth's expert on solar engineering. Within hours, he was working with Kythera scientists, sharing human knowledge about stellar stabilization. Your son is not completely dead, Dr. Miho explained to the gathered Kythera scientists. It can be saved, but it needs special fuel. Hydrogen 3. We know how to make it. The Kythera scientist Zara looked confused. The consortium said this was impossible. They said stellar death could not be reversed. Maybe they were wrong, Dr. Miho smiled. Or maybe they just did not want to try. While the scientists worked, Soyoung helped set up medical stations. Human doctors worked beside Kythera healers. They shared techniques neither species had thought of alone. Sick children began to smile again. Old people stood straighter. Hope was returning to the underground city. On the 3rd day the consortium arrived. 5 massive alien ships appeared in space around the small human vessel. Their weapons were charged and ready. Commander Soyoung received a message that made her blood boil. Human ship, you have violated galactic law, came the cold voice of a consortium officer. You have interfered with a natural extinction event. You will cease all activities immediately and return to your quarantine zone. Soyoung looked around the medical station where human and Kythera doctors were saving lives together. She looked at the children who were laughing for the first time in years. She thought about the dying son that could still be saved. She opened a channel that broadcast to the entire sector. This is Commander Soyoung of Earth. The Kythera people asked for help and we said yes. That is what friends do for each other. That is what people should do. You do not understand, the alien commander replied. We have rules. We have order. Species must accept their natural fate. Your rules are wrong, Soyoung said firmly. Your order is cruel. We reject your authority. We will help anyone who asks for it. Then you will be destroyed, the alien threatened. Soyoung looked at Elder Vox, who stood beside her with tears in his large black eyes. Maybe, she said. But they will be saved first. The galaxy watched in shock as a single human ship refused to back down from the mighty consortium fleet. News traveled fast across the galaxy's communication networks. Every species with radio equipment heard the same story. A small, unknown species called humans had defied the mighty consortium. They saved a dying world that the aliens had abandoned. They said no to the most powerful force in the galaxy. On the mining world of Kepler 442b, the Vorthan people stopped their work to listen. For generations they had dug precious metals from deep underground. The consortium bought these metals cheaply but never helped with the problems mining caused. Poisonous chemicals leaked into their water. Their children got sick. When they asked for help, the consortium said it was the cost of progress. Elder Thak, leader of the Vorthan miners, called a meeting. "Did you hear about these humans?" he asked his people. "They help strangers for nothing. No payment. No trade deals. Just because it was right." Young Vorthan Nix raised her hand. "Maybe we should contact them." Within days, engineer Taeyang from Earth arrived on the Vorthan world. He was tall and quiet, but his eyes were kind. He studied their mining operation for a week without saying much. Then he called the Vorthan leaders together. "You do not need to poison your water," he said simply. "There is a better way." Taeyang showed them new machines that could separate the valuable metals without using dangerous chemicals. He taught them how to clean the water they had already damaged. Best of all, he asked for nothing in return. "Why do you help us?" Elder Thak asked. Taeyang smiled. "Because you asked. Because it is right. Because that is what neighbors should do." News of the Vorthan's success spread to other worlds. The Ixari, who lived on floating cities above a gas giant, had been struggling with failing technology. Their cities were falling from the sky, but the consortium said replacement parts were too expensive for a minor species. Human engineers arrived within a month. They studied the ancient Ixari technology with wonder and respect. Instead of replacing it, they found ways to make it work better. Soon the floating cities were rising higher than ever before. Commander Neon established the first interspecies academy on a neutral asteroid. Young beings from dozens of races came to learn together. Human children played with Kithira younglings. Vorthan teenagers shared mining songs with Ixari poets. For the first time in galactic history, different species were growing up as friends instead of strangers. The consortium watched these events with growing alarm. In their great crystal ships, the leaders held emergency meetings. "This is chaos," declared High Admiral Zenth, a being made of living metal. "Order must be maintained. Rules must be followed." "The humans are spreading dangerous ideas," agreed Counselor Vex, whose insect-like head clicked with worry. "They make our member species question our authority. Then we must stop them," Zenth decided. "Send orders to all consortium worlds. Anyone who trades with humans will face economic punishment. Anyone who helps humans will lose our protection." But the threats came too late. Too many species had already tasted freedom. On the water world of Oceania 7, the aquatic Delph people had been paying huge taxes to the consortium for protection they never received. When human traders arrived offering fair deals and asking no tribute, the Delph Council made a choice that shocked the galaxy. "We withdraw from the Galactic Consortium," announced Queen Coral in a broadcast heard across space. "We choose friendship over fear." Within one day, 11 more species made the same announcement. The rigid system that had controlled the galaxy for millennia was cracking. Admiral Jihin stood in the new Earth Command Center, watching reports flood in from across the galaxy. His aide, Captain Jiwon, handed him another message pad. "The Helix Federation wants to join our alliance," Jiwon reported. "That makes 43 species now. The consortium is furious." "Let them be furious," Jihin replied. "Fear kept this galaxy trapped for too long. It is time for something better." Dr. Minji entered the room with a worried expression. "Admiral, we are detecting massive consortium fleet movements. They are gathering ships from across their territory. This looks like preparation for war." Jihin nodded grimly. "We knew this day would come. How many allies can we count on?" "All of them," Jiwon said firmly. "Every species we have helped has offered to fight beside us. Even some consortium members are secretly sending us intelligence. On distant worlds, beings who had never met humans prepared to defend them. Kithira scientists worked day and night building new weapons. Vorthan miners turned their tunneling equipment into fortress walls. Ixari engineers designed ship modifications that could outfly anything in space. The galaxy was choosing sides. On one side stood the old consortium with its rules and rigid order. On the other side stood humanity and their growing family of free worlds, united by hope instead of fear. In the crystal halls of the consortium capital, High Admiral Zenth stared at reports of defecting worlds. How did one small species destroy everything we built? Counselor Vex clicked nervously. They offered something we never did. They offered to care. The ripple effect had become a tsunami, and nothing would ever be the same. The warning came from the edge of the galaxy where old stars died in silence. Captain Mina was patrolling the outer rim in her small scout ship when her sensors detected something impossible. Space itself was disappearing. She watched in horror as an entire star system simply vanished. Not destroyed, not exploded, just gone, leaving empty black void behind. Whatever was doing this was moving toward the center of the galaxy, consuming everything in its path. This is Scout Ship 7. Mina broadcast on all emergency channels. Unknown threat detected in Sector 9. Multiple star systems have been eaten. Requesting immediate backup. The response came from Unity Station, humanity's new headquarters built in cooperation with 47 allied species. Admiral Jihan's voice was calm but urgent. All ships, report to Unity Station immediately. We have a galaxy-wide emergency. Within hours, the largest fleet in galactic history gathered around the massive station. Human ships flew alongside Kythera vessels. Vorthan mining barges had been converted into mobile fortresses. Ixari cities floated through space like graceful dancers. Every species that humanity had befriended came to help. Dr. Minji studied the sensor data with growing fear. These are not ships, she told the assembled commanders. These are machines. Ancient ones. They consume stellar matter and convert it into energy for themselves. The old records call them the Void Swarm. Commander Soyoung, now a fleet admiral, frowned at the data. How do we fight something that eats stars? The consortium tried once, 5,000 years ago, replied Zara, the Kythera scientist who had become humanity's closest alien ally. They failed. The swarm consumed half their territory before going dormant. On the other side of the galaxy, High Admiral Zenth stood in the crumbling consortium capital. His forces were scattered and weak. Half his member species had joined the human alliance. The others were hiding in fear. Send a message to the humans, he ordered his communications officer. Offer them a temporary alliance. We need their help. But it was too late for the consortium's pride. The humans had already taken action. Engineer Hanol worked frantically with alien scientists from a dozen worlds. They had discovered something amazing in the old Kythera archives. The swarm machines are very old, he explained to Admiral Jihan. Their programming has not been updated in millions of years. They follow the same attack patterns they always have. Can we use that against them? Jihan asked. Dr. Miho, who had saved the Kythera sun, smiled with excitement. We can do better than that. We can give them something they have never seen before, cooperation. The battle plan was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. Instead of one large fleet attacking head-on, humanity organized something completely new. Hundreds of small groups would work together like a living organism. Kythera healing ships would keep crews alive during long battles. Vorthan mining vessels would deploy gravity bombs to disrupt the swarm's formation. Ixari cities would serve as mobile command centers, coordinating attacks across vast distances. Human ships would adapt and improvise as the battle changed. When the Void Swarm reached the Andorian colonies, they found something they had never encountered before. Instead of one species fighting alone, they faced a galaxy united. Commander Neon led the first wave of attacks. Her mixed fleet of human and alien ships moved like a school of fish, darting in and out of the swarm's reach. When the ancient machines tried to focus on one target, 10 others would attack from different angles. The battle lasted for days. Ships were lost. Heroes died. But for every machine they destroyed, the alliance grew stronger. Species that had never spoken to each other before fought side by side. Old enemies became new friends in the heat of battle. Engineer Taeyang made the breakthrough that won the war. Working with Vorthan technicians, he discovered the swarm's weakness. They share a collective consciousness, he announced over the battle communications. If we can overload their central processing core, they will all shut down at once. It was Captain Jaiwan who volunteered for the suicide mission. She piloted a ship loaded with quantum explosives straight into the heart of the swarm. Her last message was simple: tell my family I helped save the galaxy. The explosion that followed was visible from 1,000 light-years away. When the light faded, the Void Swarm was gone. The ancient threat that had terrorized the galaxy for millions of years was finally defeated. In the aftermath, representatives from every surviving species gathered at Unity Station. The old consortium was finished. High Admiral Zenth himself came to surrender his authority. We were wrong, he admitted to Admiral Jihan. We thought order meant control. We thought peace meant isolation. You showed us something better. Dr. Yuna, now gray-haired but still sharp, smiled as she signed the founding charter of the Galactic Union. Unlike the old consortium, this new organization had a simple rule: help others when they ask for help. The galaxy said we were too dangerous, she told the assembled delegates. They were right. We were too dangerous to their way of thinking. Young Captain Mina, who had first spotted the swarm, was given the honor of lighting the Unity beacon. Its light would guide travelers across the galaxy for generations to come. The galaxy had finally learned to say yes.